For me, up till now, I've
Yeah.
never received breakfast
No,
in
no,
bed.
no, no, no,
9 years
you
in
cannot,
marriage.
you
Have
can't
I
say that,
received?
Julie. You can't say that. You can't say. I've
Do you want
never,
me to lie?
I've never brought food to you
Breakfast
in the
in bed
room.
in the morning.
I'm not
I
talking
wake
of
up.
breakfast though. I'm talking of food. Like I will prepare food. I'll bring food. I'll say, Julie, take food, eat. How can you just? Which one? What's the meaning of breakfast in bed? Even?
Have you done
No,
breakfast in
wait
bed?
now,
It's a
wait.
simple question.
I'm
no?
telling you that
Yes
I
or
have made
no?
food and I've brought food to you.
Have you?
I may not call it breakfast.
Call it.
No, I may not call it breakfast, but at least I
The
know
one
that
I'm looking for is breakfast in bed. Have you done breakfast in bed?
we've not necessarily had the opportunity to be able to say we are doing
But you're a
breakfast.
businessman and you know how to create opportunities. Suppose we were saying the echelon of something.
Whenever you try to get food on the table, make it lovely, make it count, make it beautiful, make the experience so
What does
awesome.
make it lovely mean?
Make it lovely.
What does
Just
it mean?
make sure that the food is making sense. It's beautiful on all fronts.
On all
It's
fronts.
served with that royal feeling. It's such a great day. Like it's good to be a man. Like it's good to be like part of. It's good to be a member of the male gender, you know, and I find that quite interesting because, you know, the issue around gender roles, gender roles are blurring. You know, before now you would hardly hear that a man was in the kitchen, maybe like washing plates or pounding yam or cutting vegetables or backing a baby or cooking breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Like the role of men basically had to do with doing all those external things, you know. And for some of us that grew up in homes where, I think for me, remembering my dad, much of the times that my father would go into the kitchen to cook as a child would majorly be around when my mom travels. You know, my dad understands the entire genealogy of cooking. Like, he can give you lectures around how any kind of meal can be cooked, you know, but he has never really been that person who took the responsibility for being in the kitchen, for example. And it worked out for him in his marriage. My mom, I'm very sure she's very excited, you know, to turn up with a whole lot of delicacies and all of that, you know. But with you,
Why will you enter with but? But is not a positive.
No, but the but I'm trying to really
Is a positive
okay, let me not
but.
even use the word but. Let me just say,
However,
like there's so much uniqueness around how couples are able to manage this issue around gender roles.
okay.
Yeah. I know that much of the quarrels that we've had, sometimes when you're not really happy, is as a result of you feeling like maybe I'm not really pulling myself into being there when you are getting certain things done, or better yet, taking up the responsibility for getting other things done, maybe based on your schedule and some other things. So this is not planned. I just wanted to throw this out to you. Like, what do you expect from me, for example? What are your expectations?
Well, the way you started the video was already saying that it's so great to be a man.
Yeah, it's great to be a man, but these days, you know, being a man in the 60s or in the 50s or in the 40s, I can almost bet myself that maybe my grandfather may never have been to the kitchen.
He had 2 wives, so what was he doing?
You know,
what would he be doing in the kitchen?
And even my dad, like my dad had a mom who was there. He had sisters who would play that role. He had his own role playing. But right now, women expect men to deep dive into things that were naturally things that women used to do.
When you say naturally, who made it natural?
The nature of culture. If culture has a nature, that's what I mean. You know, on the basis of the cultural nature of things.
Oh my.
What do you expect from me to do? Like when you look at me in the morning, for example, and you're like, okay, Joe is having work to do. I'm also having work to do. Joe has deadlines. I also have deadlines. And Joe is just trying to be Joe. And sometimes you expect that, okay, Who even created this whole dichotomy? Like, how did we get here, basically?
I think that you're a very caring person.
Okay,
And I
wow.
think that you support extensively.
Okay.
However,
However.
yes, not a
But.
but a however.
All right.
I think family dynamics differ.
Yeah.
And the way people grew up or grow up or ever affects how they want to see things or how they expect to experience things.
Yeah.
And for you, what you've explained is that you grew up from a traditional kind of family where the roles were clearly defined,
Traditional, supportive.
in the sense that
Yeah.
when it comes to theory and the theory of how food mix, like your dad knows everything theoretical. However, he would not stand up and enter the
He
kitchen
has
to
not had
say
the opportunity to stand up and.
he has never had the opportunity.
Like I
What
said,
do you
like,
call an
like-
opportunity?
Like I said, maybe when my mom travels now, that's like an
That's an
opportunity.
opportunity. No,
Like,
no.
I know that like for 3 years.
There's an
in my
opportunity
life,
comes.
for like 3 years.
Does an opportunity come
like-
to you,
for like
or
3 years.
do you create opportunities?
Well, if you're talking of business, you can say, okay, you are creating economic opportunities, you are creating boardroom opportunities, you are creating opportunities maybe within the echelon of leadership in your company and things and things like that. But I just kind of feel that it's a good discussion to have because I know that in terms of having to get things done at home, like we support each other. If we can support each other at that end, what other support system do you think is important in your view? Like, I don't want to, don't shadow quote, just
I
hit
must
it.
shadow quote in case my in-laws are watching. I must shadow quote. Viewers know that I'm shadow quoting. No, but the
Yeah.
thing is, like I said, you grew up in a home where that was how things
Where,
were.
yeah,
And your dad is really proud of it. He talks about how his mom always had cooked food, always had food.
Yeah.
Anytime you wake up, there's always food.
Something to eat,
There's
yeah.
always like that. And then there was also a stepmom. So there was food everywhere. And of course, there was really no opportunity for his dad to go into the kitchen because he had people that were making it happen almost 24 hours.
yeah.
Coming to your mom now, I think your mom is amazing in the sense that,
Superwoman, yeah.
like, I don't know how she does it. Every Sunday, coolers of food and all that. And she does that every year for the 9 years that we've been married.
Consistent.
And I talk about that in my book, actually. The thing now is that on my own side, I grew up seeing my father assist my mother.
Okay.
And I know that...
Did he used to go to the market, like?
I don't know. I can't remember going to the market. No, I can't
Because
remember that.
I do that a lot.
Yes, yeah. You just had to hail yourself.
At least I can price. I know I price market things. Yeah,
Yes,
you know.
you even price more than me.
I price more than you. I don't
Yes.
think it's not too nice, but it's just
That,
what
no,
it
no,
is.
no.
Yeah.
No, I think that it's like your own character.
Me, I just
that
like
you
it,
know
Sha.
how to price.
I just like it. Yeah.
But me, I don't really know how to price like that. But I know that my mom used to share the story of my dad helping her to like wash napkins and all that. And when they went to the village, there was a time when he wanted to help her because then I was like stooling and she had another child because the space between me and my second sister is like,
Not much.
yeah,
Yeah, not
less
much.
than a year and all that.
Not
So
much.
so based on that,
Yeah.
like, and she said I was sick then in the village and he had to, like, he could not watch her struggling with a child that is sick and then also taking care of another child. So I think he tried to do what he used to do at home, like to help her wash the napkins. And people were now like, oh my God, what have your wife done to you? She has torn your brain or something like that. And he was just merely assisting the wife because he saw that she was overworked and all. So, and even when growing up, like my dad would go into the kitchen sometimes and he would cook. There's sometimes that he will bathe us. Sometimes that he will wash things. And when he's washing your things, like the
Very
difference is clear. Like he would wash, he would rinse over and over and over and over. And he used to bathe us too when we're still
Much younger.
much younger. And when he's bathing, like Yeah, even the one that will even say, "Daddy, no, please don't beat me," because his own beat is like he's scrubbing a car.
Wow.
Like he will scrub
Want
and
to
scrub
tear
and
the
scrub.
skin.
He will scrub,
Yeah.
and even if he's cutting your nails, like he was like that detailed when he was doing things. And to me, I'm not going to say that their marriage was perfect. Of course, there were like times when there was quarrel and all that. But I would say that when it came to assisting in the home, he actually did that.
He could show
And
up.
also, I think another thing again is that going into marriage, there can be unrealistic expectations
yeah.
in the sense that I think in my secondary school, I started reading novels. So sometimes, like, you read novels, and I watched a lot of movies.
Breakfast in
A
bed.
lot of movies. And then you see
Feet
people
washing.
doing breakfast in bed. For me, up till now, I've
Yeah.
never received breakfast
No,
in
no,
bed.
no, no,
9
no,
years
you
in
cannot-
marriage.
You
Have
can't
I
say
received?
that, Julie. You can't say that. You can't say. You can't say.
Do you want me to lie?
I've never brought food to
Breakfast
you
in bed
your
in the
room.
morning.
I'm not
I
talking
wake
of
up-
breakfast though. I'm talking of food. Like I will prepare food. I'll bring food. I'll say, Julie, take food, eat. How can you just? Which one? What's the meaning of breakfast in bed? even?
Have you done
No,
breakfast in
wait
bed?
now,
It's a
wait.
simple question.
I'm
no?
telling you that
Yes
I
or
have made
no?
food and I've brought food to you.
Have you?
I may not call it breakfast.
Call it.
No, I may not call it breakfast, but at least I
The
know
one
that
I'm looking for is breakfast in bed. Have you done breakfast in bed?
we've not necessarily had the opportunity to be able to say we are doing
But you're a
breakfast.
businessman and you know how to create opportunities. Suppose we were saying the echelon of something. Breakfast. So
No, but I think I've done much more than breakfast in
of
bed,
course,
though.
of course,
Yeah,
you're the best
Yeah.
in the world. You're
Amen,
the best.
amen, hallelujah.
So, like,
Yeah.
for example, like you read novels, you watch movies, you see some of those things. Of course, they are not realistic for everybody
Yeah,
every
true,
time.
very true.
And expecting it to me now, I'm just like, for me, I've told myself, like, appreciate the ones that your husband is doing
Yeah.
and leave the others, because some people that are receiving the breakfast in bed, they might not be receiving other things that I'm also receiving. For example, I know that when we got married then and I was talking about celebrate me online on my birthday and all that,
Yeah.
what you told me was that people that celebrate birthday online, they might not even be happy in their marriage. And I asked you that, is it possible for somebody to be happy in their marriage and still celebrate?
Very possible.
It's possible.
No, it's very possible. But
Oh,
but
wow.
but if you look back now, like if you backtrack on, if you say okay, within the last 9 years, at least I've without you reminding me, I think I should have done like 50%.
My dream birthday,
50,
my dream birthday,
50%.
like I've told you, my dream
Yes.
birthday is at 12 a.m. You tell me happy birthday.
You are awake by 12 a.m. I'm already sleeping at 10. Don't worry, I will plan towards the next
Don't
one.
worry, I'll talk
I'll
about
plan
this
about
whole
it.
birthday thing. Like
I'll plan
in
about it.
in like another video.
How
I'll
you
just
want
talk
to be
about
celebrated on your
how
birthday.
like my dream birthday and how it was
Wow.
hard for me the first time we got married. Anyway, so about this cooking thing and all, like for me, it's not
Do
even
you
about
love cooking?
No, I don't.
How often do you cook? I want to drag your leg
Hey!
now. How often?
I cook as frequent as possible.
Do you love going to the market? Oh yeah.
No, but I go to
How often do you
as
go to the market?
as frequent as possible.
Do you know how to price market prices?
Not really, but I price as frequent as possible.
So you see, guys, viewers out there. At least.
Okay, but
I know
if
that-
I don't like
I know
cooking
that-
and
I
you
know
don't
that
like cooking, then how have you been eating?
You've been cooking. You've been cooking. And cooking has also been cooking. At least once in a while, I maybe not up to 5%. of
Going
the
into
time,
the nitty-gritty of this thing is that for me, I feel like for the cooking, it can be done in, okay, maybe when the children are around,
yeah.
I can be in the kitchen with them, all those things I'm going on. But for me, like most times, we're usually just the two of us
Okay.
at home. And if it's just the two of us, I don't see why.
I cannot cook for you.
No, apart from even the cooking for me.
But at least I've stepped up on that now. Like the rice, that we ate the last 2 days now. I made rice, I boiled stew, I made sure that
You warmed.
I warmed the stew.
Yes. So that we don't get
But at
it.
least I cooked the rice.
Yes.
You know, so
No, but what I'm even saying is not
Yeah.
even cooking from
Like being there.
like just coming into the kitchen sometimes. For example, day before yesterday,
even
I
yesterday I
was
was in the kitchen with you now
yeah.
when we were both cooking at
yeah.
night. I was
So
there
I
with
was
you,
like sweeping and washing the plates, and then you asked me, "Is there anything I can do for you?" I said, "You can mop." And you mopped, and to me it was really
No,
nice.
the thing is that when
The
it comes
fact
to
that
when it comes
two
to
of us were like
yeah,
doing it
yeah.
together, like
Yeah.
so, like even in that cooking now, if I'm in the kitchen, I'm cooking, and it's just two of us, and I'm cooking, and you are like, "Is there anything I can help you with?" Maybe I say, "Okay, help me cut the onions or something." To me, it's you showing that you want to be with me in my presence. But when you're not doing anything, you're just on Instagram or Facebook, and
How
then
many
you are,
times am I on Instagram?
I don't
You
know,
are
or
saying
even
Instagram.
YouTube or
I'm
something.
on YouTube, yes. If you say YouTube, I can understand.
And
Not
then-
like Instagram is of
Even
course,
if you're on Instagram, it's still those motivational things that you listen
Yeah.
to. So even if you were doing that, you can even just be in the kitchen with me than to be there. And sometimes, like, some of the things that, for example, if I wake up in the morning
Okay.
and like there is a pressing deadline, maybe something that I'm supposed to finish at work, like it's like
ASAP.
urgent. So sometimes, like when I wake up and I'm just like, okay, God help me. Once like I'm on my laptop and I'm just trying to meet up with deadline, and you know that I'm trying to meet up with a deadline, and you know that there is something that you can easily warm and eat, but because you don't want to go to the kitchen, you now stay hungry. And sometimes I can be on that spot to work till maybe afternoon, then you will now stay hungry. For me to now feel bad that I did not give you food.
No. When I don't
When you
when I
know
don't-
that
when I
I'm
don't- when
on
I
a
don't-
deadline. So for me, like
Let me
those
just
thinking about those
correct
type
it.
of things, I'm like, why will you, when you know that there's something that you can just make, and sometimes there's
The
even
goal-
egg
the-
and there's even bread and
the-
there's
the
tea
goal
and
is not
something
to
that you
make you
can
feel bad.
and
Do you know
it's
that? But
not
do you know
like
that?
no,
But do you know that?
how will I not feel bad?
No, but that's not the goal.
For
The
example,
goal is
now
not to make you feel
that
bad.
time that I'm even sitting down trying to finish that deadline, I'm not even eating. Like I have not even. There's another that as in that I don't even eat from like morning till that 3 or something because I'm trying to meet up a deadline. So I did not eat. You did not eat, and you are now there. Then in the night then in the evening you now say, "Do you know I've not eaten today?" I'm like, but you saw that I was trying to meet up a deadline. So can you even explain what used to happen at those points?
For me, basically, I just don't feel like doing anything that has to do with the kitchen at that point in time. There might be a possibility of maybe me trying to see how I can just perch on other things that may not
Sometimes you don't even perch on
necessarily-
anything.
that may not necessarily have to do with.
Am I right that sometimes you don't even
No,
perch on
you're
anything?
not wrong. You are not wrong. But I can't say whether you're right. But you're not wrong. But I don't know. Sincerely, I don't know how to explain it. Maybe sometimes I just get into that place where somebody might begin to think that, oh, this guy he's entitled to wanting to eat his wife's food even when it's
Which is
difficult.
not bad.
Yeah, which is not bad. That's what I was trying to get to, which is not bad. Other times I don't just feel like having to do anything around the kitchen. And much of the time too, you know how my mornings go. Most times you're like a night person, right?
Right?
Yeah,
Do you know me?
You sleep later. I'm the first to sleep. Maybe I'm sleeping like maybe 9 a.m. Sometimes you are up till like 1 a.m., 1:30 a.m. and
Sometimes
all that.
3, sir.
3. Then I wake up like 4:30 in the morning. Then, of course, the whole kids and all
You
that.
help, yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. All those run around. So then from there, take them to school because for much of the time, I do a lot of remote working from home. Then I meet clients when I have to and things like that, Then to now have to come back after that and I'm like, enter kitchen again. It could be like a drain on me personally. This is me now, like,
Yeah.
for you to now see from
Your
my
own
side,
side.
you understand? So it could be a drain. So I'll just be like, okay, there's really no point. Let me just quickly go and do what I have to do. Maybe along the way, something might show up, even though I'm not the one responsible at that
Come
time
and show
for
up.
making that thing to show up. Yeah, but sometimes it could be hurtful at times. At other times, I could just really understand and just wait for, okay, when this happens, it happens. You know, I don't think I've been in that place to like maybe blame you. That's one. Even though sometimes I've expressed some of my fears to you about that kind of a system, you know, and I will not mention those fears here. And I just wish that if there was actually a better way, because I know people that, because of how work is, people buy food, they buy soup, they buy stew, they carry bowls, you know. For like the kind of home I grew up in, I don't think my dad actually ever ate any food that my mother did not cook. You know, even one of my bosses then, when I used to be in the National Assembly, he would tell you that he can't eat anything that his wife does not cook. He was a politician. If you give him food and he will not eat it, he will take it, he will give it out. You know, so there are some of those kinds of men who have grown up in that kind of environment, and maybe life has taught them a lot of things too, you know, around eating. And some people just feel like, okay, they must eat their wife's food. In fact, I used to have a colleague, you know, who told me once
Fresh
that
soup every day.
Yeah, like fresh soup every day. The husband cannot eat any soup that goes into the fridge. As it is coming out, he can't eat it.
Does he have allergic reaction?
I didn't find out all of that.
Did he communicate this to his wife before marriage?
It's not everything that your wife would know before marriage. You know, that's just something that she got to find out. So she had to school herself in all manner of delicacies, you understand? Cooking different things. I don't think it was ever easy, you know, but in situations like that, maybe you can have like a chef, you can have somebody supporting.
What if the man is not even rich enough to pay for a chef?
Then he may just have to learn to start cooking. Because I don't feel it's reasonable to have like a man say, okay, I can't eat any other, it must be fresh food. Every meal is a fresh meal. Every meal. Like food does not go into the fridge,
but you know
come
that
out and
there are some women that genuinely love cooking.
True, very true.
They even cry when their husbands don't eat as frequent as they cook. Wow. So they cook like on a steady, and then they expect the men to also eat steadily. And for those type of people, I would say, like, if you know that part of your requirement is like cooking, then you necessarily might not need to go for a career kind of wife. Okay. You have to also search, because as in, you will not be fair to the woman at the end. So I think it's like best that you look for a woman who, because there are actually women that their joy in life is to be a housewife and give birth to children, and they can clean the house in the morning, clean it from the beginning again to the end in the night, and just bake different things, and they can be maybe selling it online or something, but they can cook from morning to night, clean, reclean. So you look for those type of women, which is also good. It's not a bad thing. They too, they are also called for certain kinds of people. Yeah. So you look for those kind of women, and you will never lack food in your life if food is important.
The truth is, you know, this saying that goes, the way to a man's heart is food.
What of the way to a woman's heart?
A woman would have to tell us the way to her heart. For me, I will not be in that. I will not put myself in the position, because there are different ways to a woman's heart. So that one is for women to now tell us what is the way to a woman's heart. If you can answer that question, fine. If you can't answer it, fine.
The way to my heart, I think I've already mentioned it to you now. Kindness. Just soft touch. Okay. Kindness,
softness.
Yes.
Anyways, it's really nice to, like, you know, put some of these issues, you know, but I just feel that it's not everything you can really find out about a spouse before you get married.
But if food is a priority for you,
in fact,
then you look for a woman that it's also a priority for her. There was one lady that used to cook and cook.
Let me mention. Can I mention her name?
Mention her name, please.
Otsi. Oh my God. Otsi, then Tony. Otsi and Tony.
Why didn't you marry them?
Oh, they were my friends. I couldn't have.
But
They were my
why? You could
friends.
not marry your friend.
They were
Why?
my friends. They were my friends.
So,
They were my colleagues. They were my
so you
classmates.
could not ask your
They were
classmates
my
out.
colleagues. No,
If food was
I
important
couldn't.
and you
I
really
couldn't have.
loved,
It was just important to highlight the fact that those women really love
Touched
to
you.
cook, and they are also career women right now. I don't know if they are cooking as much now as they used to cook then, because I'm not living with them, but food is good, Sha. Like, good food is good, and when good food comes from a good wife, like, that's the excellent.
What if a good
that's
food
the
comes from a
excellent
chef?
one. If a good food comes from a chef,
Does
for
it
me,
still carry weight or is weightless?
it's still good food, but there's that food that that your wife made
Sweat.
it.
Yes, what now made the food sweet? Sweat.
There's that food that you'd be like, my wife took her time. She delivered on this assignment. That kind of food. Like, after you
Please.
eat it, you now hug your wife very well to say, well done.
Every day.
I'm not really saying every day because it's not realistic, and that's the truth. It's not like you're a retiree now that maybe you're at home, you don't necessarily have so much doing, but I just feel that for women that it's not really your A game to get food on the table daily. Whenever you try to get food on the table, make it lovely, make it count, make it beautiful, make the experience so
What does
awesome.
make it lovely mean?
Make it lovely.
What does
Just
it mean?
make sure that the food is making sense. It's beautiful on all fronts.
On all
It's
fronts.
served with that royal feeling.
So if a man should cook for his wife,
Not
for
bad,
example,
though, because
breakfast in
I
bed,
had
is
this friend,
is it bad?
it's not
Does
even
it
bad.
kill his ego?
Sincerely, it's not
Does
bad.
it reduce his teeth?
It's
Does
not
it make
bad. It's not bad. I knew of a man growing up when I was a child. He's late now. He used to cook. In fact, after church, when we were going home, we stopped by their house. Like, he's already jumped into the kitchen. He's preparing food.
just on Sundays?
I think he used to do majorly Sunday cooking.
But that's even a memory that
Yeah,
the family
very
members
nice memory.
have.
Very, very nice memory. And I'm hoping that, I really want to be remembered as a father that can. Although I'm thinking of, okay, can I take my sons to like a football academy, go play soccer with
But
them,
I think
and do all of those things? Yeah.
I think that part of your fear for not wanting to jump into the role of assisting in cooking is
Yeah.
because you feel that let me not start
What you
what
cannot
will not be
finish.
taken advantage of.
Much of
in
the
the
time,
sense
it's
that-
there subconsciously. That's the reality. It's actually
Yes,
there.
like,
And I know that for most
Me,
men,
I see it in your eyes,
for most
so
men,
I know.
For most men, is actually
Yes.
there.
You
Because
don't want
sometimes
to
you
help.
you start doing something for your wife. Maybe naturally she should be doing those things. Not necessarily she should be doing them, but you're like, okay, let me just support my wife to get some of these things done. Then it now becomes like
Your job.
your job description. So after a lot of men have gathered many other job description, then their wife now wants to pin cooking on them. They will be running. That's what just
What
happens.
other job description did they assume that now the cooking is now pinning?
Because you don't know. We're not in their homes. Men have a way of.
What do you now say
Don't have
about
a way of-
people that now relocate? Now that we see lots of people relocating, for the men that don't
One
want to now
thing-
assist,
One thing
what
I
will
can,
now happen?
One thing I can say for relocation, because at least to the glory of God, we've had we've tiptoed in some of these countries and all that. If you're out of this country, it wouldn't matter if you're a man or a woman. There's almost zero difference. You have to play a role per time. Your husband can be working maybe a day shift. You are working a night shift. He's home with the children. Will he say he's not going to cook? The next
Or
morning,
he will say you should cook food for the
you
month, then
understand?
he'll be warming.
No, but people do all those cooking for the month or cooking for the week. While I was out, I used to do all those cooking for the week, like cook for a month even. I go and buy all this brocotor meat, all this stuff from all this Pakistani, stuff, and I buy all those things I need for a long period of time. I prepare them, I keep them. Anytime I need it, I take it. But I'm just saying that if the environment permits you to work together as a team, fine. Even in the form of cooking, it also comes in a lot of different other forms, things that would even take me more time than even cooking.
I know.
Yeah.
My brother then, I think he was open to doing every other thing except washing plates.
Yeah.
Like he just did not want to do that one. But any other thing you ask
Like
him
me, I
to
love
do.
ironing, for example. I love to do laundry, even though I don't wash with my hands anymore. But I love to do laundry. I love to iron. I don't love washing cars. I don't love washing cars. I'm a guy. I don't love washing cars. You are a lady. You can cook, but you don't want to spend much of all your productive time cooking, right? So I think it's just the dynamics around a lot of these things. Yeah.
And it's not even just centered on just cooking. There are still other gender roles that are not even in cooking. For example, like then when generators were a thing, there are some men that don't even like going to on generator.
Okay.
They don't also like checking the doors in the night or offing the lights. So it's the women that when it's time to on gen, it's women that on gen, it's women that put the lights off, it's the women that go to lock the gates
at night,
and the men don't do it. What will you now say about that? That's a gender role that has been
sincerely
moved.
that is assumed to be a man's role. I even heard of a lady who shared a story of the day she got married. After every other thing and all that, the husband just went to sleep. And she was like, this guy will not lock door. He will not lock this, he will not lock that. And for that guy, he had lived in a home where
they used to leave the door open.
They don't really care about locking door or anything. So sometimes you just find out that you get married to somebody and you wake up in a different reality. And your job as a spouse that has understanding is to see how you're not necessarily changing the person, but you are seeing how line upon line, precept upon precept.
Let me ask one last question. So for a woman that is not really so into cooking, she can cook, but she does not cook always.
Yeah, she should try to cook more. It's just like if you are not into praying
that is not my question. That is not my question. Allow me to land now.
Okay, land.
If you're not into prayer, so my question is now, what now happens when probably like the husband already understands that, okay, my wife can cook, but there's sometimes that she wants to use her productive time to do something else that will still benefit the family. But the relatives now say, you are not feeding our son. What should the woman do? What should the man do?
No, but
what should the woman do? And what should the man do?
Now go to relatives and say my wife is not feeding me? Like, that's a weak statement as far as I'm concerned. It doesn't make any sense. A man that will now leave his father's house, go to his father's house or go to his relatives and go and be saying, my wife is not cooking. It's lame. I think it's really lame. It's really lame. What of the numerous other things that she's doing? And you don't now want to wash that part of your dirty linen outside. People now take advantage of people that should not even be talking to you on a very good day.
Or it's like, mommy, like my wife's soup is not even as sweet as yours.
No, that's lame. That's very lame.
Okay.
I won't be that man. I don't even advise any man out there to condescend to that level. Finally, the last thing I'll share is there was a lady whose husband, that same lady I talked about, whose husband likes to eat fresh food every day. So what he now began to do after a while was he would go to his mother's house and eat before coming home. On the days
because the mother was cooking every day.
Yes.
That means it's the mother that raised him like that.
Yes. On the day that
did he tell his wife that that's how he's raised and that's how he wants to continue living his life?
Things,
after the mother died, what was he now doing?
You can't know everything. That's what I'm saying now.
Oh my God.
You can't know everything.
Terrible.
The guy will go and eat dinner before
Terrible.
But it's just
my mother, she was the one that she would say, shame.
There are a lot of dynamics, so much dynamics. It's really interesting.
Except he has, maybe there's something wrong with his tummy.
I don't think
because
so.
Of
I just think he must have been from a very wealthy home.
Okay.
To have lived that kind of lifestyle, and for the mom even to still keep that routine of.
Was it her cooking or her helps?
I wouldn't know really, but on like what she said was on days that it was
impossible
for her to cook, like he knows where to eat that fresh food before coming home. And for her, she was like...
But by the time the mother dies when she's old... I'm saying, by the time she dies when she's old, that means he's the kind of man that can go to eat somewhere else, eat somewhere else alone, while she will be at home. And then when he makes it a habit to be eating somewhere else, then there's someone that can track him and now say, oh, this man comes here to eat. once in a while, and then
I
they
don't-
start,
I
and
don't
that one
know.
can lead to something
I
else.
don't know about that, Sha. You know, we have more disciplined men in the society right now
Hallelujah.
than before.
Thank
A lot
you.
of men are really doing great. Men are constantly dodging bullets, like avoiding traps that the enemy is laying on the side, you know, just to escape. Every man wants to find his way back home, whether there's food or not. Every intelligent, reasonable man wants to find his way back home. We don't want to be misled by things that appear glittering on the side and all that. We want to find our way back home.
Don't be lost in the first place. Let's just end it there.
We want to
Don't
find
be
our
don't be
way
lost
back
in the first place.
Okay, because it almost presupposes that you are almost lost, but you insist on finding your way back home.
Because if you let me not enter that topic with you.
No, we can talk about it in the next video now. Finding
Lost
your way
men.
back home.
Don't
Lost
even
men.
be lost.
Wow, thank you guys. See you guys
Thanks.
in the next video. Yeah, bye.
Bye.